What's up, you all? Welcome, Kyle Michael. And this is going to be a special video that I wanted to do because it's a topic that has been on my mind lately, and it's something that I've thought about in my life. And so, as I've mentioned in previous videos, relationships, family, and interpersonal relationships that we have in life are very important to me, as well as very passionate about learning and understanding and applying what I learn in life. And so, a lot of my videos might be a little geared more towards that, as I put more of that aspect of my journey and my learning out there into the world, as well as the work that I'm doing. But the topic that I wanted to dive into today is basically why you should never walk on eggshells in your life, in your relationships. You should never walk on eggshells. And what does it mean to walk on eggshells? Walking on eggshells means that you act in a certain way around certain people. You act very carefully, as in to not to upset them. When one walks on eggshells, there is anxiety within, and so they're very careful with what they say, how they say it. They're very careful with their actions, because they know that if they act in a way that that other person doesn't agree with, that there will be a backlash. And so there's anxiety, and they're afraid of that backlash. And with that, they aren't able to truly act genuinely and honestly. They're not able to speak their truth. They're not able to just say how they truly feel or act in a natural way. And it's not that they can't, but because of how that other person, because of how they are, one person may feel such anxiety that they just always are trying to act in a way to not upset that person. And as I said, I personally feel that you should never walk on eggshells. I think that as I kind of talked about a moment ago, if you aren't able to express yourself genuinely and sincerely, if you aren't able to just let it flow, then you need to rethink who you are interacting with. Now, this doesn't mean that, you always, sometimes you do have to know your audience, yes. I'm talking from a place of you wanting to simply express yourself in a very genuine way that's respectful of the both of you, and you still feel like you can't, right? So say you have a couple, and one person in the relationship, wants to express the fact that they like to do this, and or they would like to do this thing, but the other person, wouldn't agree. So then that person that wants to do something or would like to do something, either A, doesn't do it for some reason because they don't want to upset that person, or they sneak around doing those things, so that now they're being dishonest, and I feel that if you're going to be in a relationship with someone, you should not have to be dishonest. You should not have to walk on eggshells. You should be able to express yourself. You should be able to do the things that you like to do. And the thing is, if the thing that you like to do is not aligned with that other person, then you're with the wrong person. And if what they like to do is not aligned with you, it's okay. You're just maybe not right for them. It is what it is. but you don't need to be sneaking around and walking on eggshells, you know? And say, you know, and if you just want to be able to speak and say certain things, or say that they have certain behaviors that you don't like, you should be able to call them out on those behaviors. And if they say, well, hey, this is who I am, then you say, you know what, thank you for expressing that, but it's just not in line with me. And I know it can get really hard because we invest in people and whatnot, and we don't want to lose people, quote unquote, lose people that we care about. But at the end of the day, you never want to lose you. That's the most important. And if you feel like you've lost yourself, that's a problem. So you need to gain yourself back. And when you've gained yourself, then you realize, hey, this is who I am. This is how I feel. And I ain't walking on eggshells around no one. Nope. You know, in my life, I've seen many people and talked with many people in their lives who have definitely walked on eggshells. You know, one area too that I've seen people walk on eggshells is with parents. You know, growing up, you know, they had to be very careful as to not upset the parental system. And you know, yes, there is a dynamic between children and parents, but I feel that children still should be able to express themselves in a respectful way to their parents. And yes, while you're living under the roof, you know, but once you turn 18, if you and your parents just really aren't aligned, you know, this is what it is. Doesn't mean you don't love them, but you have to get to the point in life where you can be comfortable with who you are. That's it. You know, I talk to a lot of guys and work with men in with this category, and a lot of men that have been walking on eggshells around their girlfriends and their wives. And where that comes from is because at a core level, they are afraid to lose them. And because they're afraid to lose their significant other, they walk on eggshells, and they don't communicate the things that they truly want to communicate. They don't express themselves the way they need to. They don't call the other person out on their bullshit. You know, they kind of just get strung along, and they become a yes man. You know, yes. You know, you know, but that, I tell you one thing. For me, especially talking to the men, if you are in a relationship where you're not able to express yourself the way you'd like to, or you feel that you are always having to do what your girlfriend or wife asks of you, and that you can't say no. You know, I was talking to one man, about how he was always being drugged to different events, always. Constantly being taken to different events, and eventually he was like, you know, sometimes I don't want to go to these events. And then so the girlfriend says, well, you know, next time you don't want to go to an event, just tell me. Okay, just tell me, just be honest. And he was thinking, wow, okay. Well, then time came for another event, and he said, hey, this is an event I really don't want to go to. And apparently she blew up, right? So, and he's like, well, didn't you tell me to be honest? And so then he's put into a situation where he's like, well, what do I do? You know, and many people would give him the advice, well, you go. You know, you go. You know, just go along with it. You know, appease her. That's what I hear. What I feel is, in those situations, if you truly don't want to go, and it doesn't mean you don't do things with your significant other. I mean, you know, in relationships, you do things, and sometimes you might do something that, and they should be doing the same. It should also be reciprocated. There needs to be a balance. But in a situation like this, I think it's vital that you do not go. You don't. It's vital in relationships that you stand your ground. And you're not doing it just for you. You're doing it for the relationship. Because the truth is, a woman loves a man that she respects. She's attracted to a man that she respects, not a man that just simply bends over and does whatever she asks. Yes, you'll get patted on the head, but you're not doing what's best for the relationship. And I get it that in the moment when she turns cold and her emotions are showing and she clearly is mad at you, in those moments you feel uncomfortable. And in those moments, yes, you might feel, well, it's easier just to bend over and just take it and just do what she says. In that moment, it may seem easier to do that, but what you're doing is you are ruining the relationship. And so realize that she can get mad for a moment, but at a core level, she will be happy that you stood up for yourself. She wants you to. Subconsciously, she does. And a lot of times these are tests. It just is what it is. Part of the game. It doesn't stop. And so, so you have to stand your ground. And you have to realize, and you have to make sure that there is somewhat of a balance, I'm a person that, I truly believe that men and women are different. And I believe that we're not meant to combat one another. We're meant to complement one another with our differences. And that being said, it's very important as a man that you never are walking on eggshells around your woman, around your girlfriend, around your wife, ever. I say yours, whatever that means. Nah, that's a different discussion. But realize no one's ever yours. That's a different topic. But you never walk on eggshells, ever. And if they don't like it, there's the door. And this doesn't mean that you're necessarily, because obviously you're going to care about your relationship. You're going to, I'm not coming from a place of where you're just always ready to throw the relationship away. No. You have to come from the place of, listen, this relationship's important to me, but I'm also important to me too. And am I important to you? And if I am important to you, don't you want to hear what I have to say? And don't my feelings have meaning? And don't my feelings, aren't they worth something too? Or do you feel that I'm simply here now just to appease you? I was not put on this earth to appease you. Nope. That's the frame. I am here because we're in a relationship, and it's from this place, you want to make this relationship work, yes. But both parties need to be prepared to do what it takes to make it work. Both parties need to be able to listen and be able to reason in some way. And there might be one person that's can be a little more reasonable than others, but you know what? There's got to be, there has to be a balance and a harmony going on. And you can't get there ever by just going along with it. Because trust me, by always going along with it, you are going along with whatever the other person wants. Trust me, you're setting your relationship up for failure. And also you have to realize that it's going to affect you. You're going to become bitter over time. And that bitter energy is going to flow out. It's just a recipe for disaster in terms of relationship. You have to be willing to stand your ground. And you can stand your ground. The reason why I say you have to be willing to let it go, if need be, because it's hard to stand your ground if you're not coming from that place. If you're coming from the place of, well, I need you and I can't let you go, then if you really coming from that place, it's going to be impossible for you to be like, hey, this is what I feel. Because you realize that by you saying, this is what I feel, this is what it is, they might say, well, I don't like it, so I'm leaving. And you have to in that moment be like, that sucks, but okay. If that's how you feel. And you realize, if that's really how they feel, then okay. If they're not willing to work, why are you? If they're not willing to work through things, if they're not willing to put in the same amount of effort, if they're not willing to listen, if they're not willing to give you a place of importance in the relationship, why would you feel like you must do the same for them? You realize if you're in that type of thing, you're pedestalizing them, putting them on a pedestal, and you're making them bigger than you, and that ain't gonna work, man. It's not gonna work. You have to make sure that you are in a relationship with mutual respect. And that comes from a place where you have to respect you. And when you respect yourself, you come from a place where you demand respect from the people that are going to be in your life. And I mean that in like, that's it. I have certain expectations of how I choose to be treated. And so you come from the place of, if you can't treat me the way that I want to be treated, which is in a respectful way, right? Then that's that. I wish you the best, but that's that. And that's that. And I know that, listen, it's not necessarily easy to get to this place. It takes work, inner work, as you go through the journey, but I believe it's very vital. And it's not just vital for you, it's vital for the relationship, because when you come from that place, if you find the right person that is in line with you and your values, and especially in the dynamic of how you wish to be in a relationship, if you find the right person, trust me, they're going to respect that, and they're going to love that about you. And maybe you won't even consciously know that's why, but they're going to be just drawn to that. And yes, there might be times where they get upset in a moment, but if you come from it from a respectful place of just saying, hey, this is what it is. I love you very much, but I'm going to speak my piece. This is how I feel, and I'm happy to listen to you, but we're gonna have to come to a place. That's it. That's that. Okay. And it's that simple. It's that simple, but it takes a lot of inner work where you have to be able to be okay with things not being okay. Because especially if you haven't been as vocal about how you feel, now if you speak up, well, you're going to catch the other person off guard, because they've gotten so used to you bending over backwards and taking it, whatever they give. Now you speak up, they're going to be like, huh, excuse me? But realize that you got to speak up. That's that. And so they're gonna test you and see, okay, but you gotta be like, nope, not anymore. There's a door. And be willing to walk out of it. Always. And be willing to never even look back. You're with you the whole way through. And so you better like who you are when you're going through that journey. And it's hard to not like who you are if you're not truly expressing yourself and who you are. But trust me, if you're with the right person, no matter what, they're going to respect that about you. And they're going to love you for that. And I'm talking about the things in life where, because there are certain part of relationships that can get really wild. But I'm coming from, certain things that can come up, relationships that can be talked about in a respectful way, in a good way. And I personally just don't think that disrespect has any place in a relationship. You know, and yes, we're human, and yes, we can get caught up in emotions, and things can come out in ways that maybe, you know, we have to, you know, we might not feel good about. And in those moments, because we are human, and people do make mistakes, but those mistakes better be acknowledged. You know, so say if someone comes at you in a way that is just, you're like, huh? You got to tell them, hey, I do not appreciate when you speak to me this way, or I don't appreciate when you treat me this way, and I won't take it. It won't be tolerated. They should then from that place, maybe it will take them a moment, give them maybe some time, but they better eventually come to you saying, I am sorry I came at you that way, and I understand. And then you look out and make sure that doesn't happen again. Because if they just keep on doing it and then apologizing, well, you got someone that knows that they can just, like, you have to be willing to walk away. Don't just be like, it's not just a empty threat. You better be willing to walk away. But I'm going to tell you something. Do you want your relationship to be one that's meaningful, beautiful, and based on mutual respect or not? And I believe that's what it takes. Because we're human beings, man, but we have to, but we're taking two humans from different worlds, and now we're putting the world together, and you're trying to build something amazing. And, but, you know, and that takes effort. But that also takes you knowing how you wish to be treated, and you expressing this is what it is. And they also know how they wish to be treated too. And if you two are in line with that, with each other, you both can be on the same wavelength, same page, same vibe, as they say, then with that being said, something very meaningful can come from it. But, and with that being said, never, ever walk on eggshells. Yeah. So from here, what I would like to do is to do a subconscious exercise where we're going to get into the subconscious mind. I'm going to give you a little sample of what I call subconscious engineering, a form of hypnotherapy. And so it's going to be kind of like a guided meditation, a guided subconscious exercise, right? And this will be a sample of what I do. And so here we go. So make sure that you are in an incredibly comfortable place, sitting down or lying backwards. Maybe good to have headphones on at this moment. But just make sure that you're comfortable, okay? And in this moment now, just really allow yourself to relax. Take a big deep breath in. Hold it in for a moment. And now exhale. That's right. Take another big deep breath in. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. And now exhale. Take another big deep breath in. Real deep in. Real deep. Deep as you can. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. And now as you exhale, allow your eyes to close. Just allow those eyes to close now. Allow those eyes to close. And in this moment, I'd like for you to imagine walking into a room. And on the other side of the room is a person that you care about. Maybe from the past, maybe someone that you're dealing with right now. Or maybe it's someone just within your mind, maybe a person that you can just imagine caring about a future spouse or a future girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. But have this person in your mind and have the feeling of really caring about them. And in this moment, maybe this won't feel the best, but we're going to go through this exercise. And imagine on the ground are eggshells. Just imagine all those white and brown eggshells, you know. Imagine them on the ground, and imagine yourself having to kind of tiptoe around it. Imagine how this doesn't feel good, because you have to do that because you don't want to disrupt that person. And maybe in this moment the feeling just doesn't feel very good, and maybe they don't even look very happy, and you're just kind of tiptoeing around it. And it just notice how kind of small you feel, and that's not a good feeling. But now in this moment, take a big deep breath in. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and exhale. And now, with your body in this moment, actually use your body and put your chest out. Even if you're laying down, just imagine your chest out. And your head up. Just imagine yourself, even within your mind's eye, just head up, chest out. Feeling a sense of pride now. And you realize that you do not have to walk on eggshells. Ever again. No more. And so here's what I would like you to do. I would like for you to imagine those eggshells on the ground. And maybe some actual eggs. And imagine yourself with some boots on. You put those boots on. Okay, those big boots. Imagine, I don't know what color they are, but you put those boots on. And now get ready to jump all over those motherfuckers. You jump on those eggs. You stomp all over those eggs. Stomp on those eggs. Stomp, stomp, stomp. Be willing to make some loud noise. And in this moment, feel proud. You will express yourself. You will express your true sincerity and genuine nature. What it is that you want to express, you'll do it now. And you don't care about the ruckus. You don't care about the mess that you make for the moment, because it will get cleaned up. But you're not going to tiptoe around. You will walk through that room proud. And if it's a problem, you'll happily stomp through it. But one thing you won't do is tiptoe. No. There's no tiptoeing around here. And you realize that if that person on the other side truly loves you and cares about you, they will respect the respect that you have for you. And they will show respect to you. There's no reason for you to allow disrespect in a meaningful relationship. No. No more. No more will you walk on eggshells. Take a big deep breath in. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. And exhale. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And that's a little subconscious exercise. I would love to hear about your experience with that. And yeah, I kind of came up with that off the cusp, but hopefully that was a fun exercise. I know for me, because I can go through it pretty deeply in those moments, even kind of giving it. I know it can be very empowering, because who wants to walk on eggshells? Who wants to always tiptoe? No one. You don't have to tiptoe, you know. And I always, I'm a proponent. I'm very much for being respectful of people, and not, it's not like you want to, you're not causing issues to cause issues, but you should always be willing to speak up for yourself. Always. And always be willing to go your own way. If other people can't be respectful and treat you the way that you know you should be treated, then it's time for you to find people that will treat you the way you know you should be treated. Okay? Okay. So, if you have not subscribed to this channel, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you can be notified when more videos come out. And like and share this video, especially if you found it meaningful. You know, if you like it, and leave comments below, and you share this video, more people will get to see it. And so if you found this meaningful, definitely like it and share and leave a comment about your experience, and also not just experience that you had that through this video, but if you can leave maybe in your story about how you had to walk through eggshells in a relationship, or maybe someone you knew, or maybe it was not just a girlfriend, boyfriend, but maybe it was parents, or maybe you had a friend that you saw. Just any experience you wish to share, because we learn from others, and so I think it's important that we share our experiences, and I would love to read it. I'm sure other people would as well. So do that, okay? If you have any questions on coaching and subconscious engineering, hypnotherapy, you can email me at kylemichael@magicminds.com. You can also check out my Instagram. I do Minute of Motivations on Instagram, and that's at Magic Minds. And yeah. All right, y'all. Until next time, remember, keep going and keep growing. And live life and love life. Okay? Okay. All right. Peace.